everybody here. My name is Amber Van Allen. I'm the Wellness Coordinator at Orion Energy Systems, and I'm also one of the co-chairs of the Wellness Council of Manitowoc County. I'd like to introduce today's speaker, Dr. Jennifer Rada of Apple Natural Health Clinic. She's a chiropractor, fitness expert, former bodybuilder, business owner, huge dog lover. Her training techniques are simple, down to earth, and get to the heart of your biggest challenges. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Jennifer Rada.
Hello, everybody. Hello. The beauty of this is that I think I've met and or known almost everyone in the room, which is nice. You know each other a fair amount? Yes, a little bit. Look familiar? Okay, well, I have a starting question for you. Let me see if I can get this to come up and running. And I think this will be an affirmative answer for everyone, but we will see. Perfect. And we're going to test out the new clicker. Today, wellness. Okay, now, so now what? Is it going to work? My question for you here is, who in this audience loves donuts? Anybody? You can admit it. Have you ever loved a donut, even if you might not want to admit that you love donuts? Or you know somebody who loves donuts? I knew someone, a woman that I coached back in probably 1998, who actually admitted to me as her coach, confidentially, that she kept a box of powdered donuts underneath her side of the bed. She said, I promised my husband that I would be good and go on a diet, but I just want to tell you, Dr. Rada, that I have this small box of powdered donuts, those little donut holes, and sometimes in the middle of the night when I wake up, I take that box into the bathroom and I eat just a couple of those donuts. Well, right, and that's some serious, what do I want to say, organization of your dietary plan. But in the daytime, she would behave really well at home, and then she also had this Burger King relationship that she would go through the drive-thru. I said, well, you know what? You and Burger King are breaking up, baby. So donuts. I just want to look at the donuts for a second. So there's donut holes. I love donut holes. Sprinkles. You can never go wrong with sprinkles. Glazed donuts. Krispy Kreme. Are those out of business now? Do we have Krispy Kreme still? Around somewhere?
In the South.
In the South, okay. More Krispy Kreme hot now donuts?
I don't like them.
Right. And the ever popular jelly-filled donuts, Long Johns, anything with a raspberry cream filling of some sort. This one just reminds me of The Simpsons, pink with sprinkles. Sprinkles is not a food group. That's what you can learn from The Simpsons. And this is my favorite donut. Absolutely love. If it was a chocolate cake donut with chocolate frosting, I would love it even a little bit more, to be honest, because who can deny chocolate on chocolate? However, I'm going to be honest with you, this is what I eat a lot more than a donut. Now, how many of you said, yeah, I was waiting for her to get to those Brussels sprouts? Or how many of you were like, what is that? Anybody? I don't blame you, it's okay. My big message for you today is that diet and fitness are a lot like telling a smoker not to smoke. They all know they shouldn't do it. We all know that we probably shouldn't keep a box of donuts under our bed and chomp on them in the middle of the nighttime. I get it, right? Or anything in between those two extremes. But the million-dollar question is, why do we make the choices that we make, and what can we do about it? Because let's face it, this exists at every, probably Quick Trip, well, definitely Hartman's, I think, the best donuts ever. And the grocery stores, you walk past that case and it's going to be there. You're going to have to look a little bit harder to find those things, most likely. And the drive has to be there, and there has to be a good reason. So, I'm Dr. Jennifer Rada. I work at Apple Natural Health Clinic. It's a chiropractic clinic primarily in downtown Manitowoc. We have a new shiny green awning. It's a couple years old now. And the clinic has been there since 1999. I've been there since 2003. And I bought the business in 2005, so I've been the owner since then. We're primarily chiropractic. We also have some passive and active therapies, so some basic rehab. And we have a massage therapist just recently has relocated, so if anyone knows a massage therapist, we may be in the market. Has anyone here been to a chiropractor before? Okay, good, nice. Chiropractic is primarily involved with maintenance of the body. It's natural, there are no medications, no drugs, no needles, no surgeries. However, we work with MDs, PTs all the time. So we're very integrated into the healthcare system, but we're very natural. Chiropractors go to college for approximately 9 years, which you think, how much is there really to know about adjusting a spine? If you've been to a chiropractor before, they kind of push, they turn, and then they push on your spine. Well, 9 years later, we graduate from chiropractic college. It's very intense. So as we get started, I forgot a little bit more about me. I did a bodybuilding show. This is me a while ago, not right now. I went to Palmer College of Chiropractic. It's in Davenport, Iowa. It's the birthplace of chiropractic. Chiropractic started in the planet. It started in Iowa, about 4.5 hours away from here. I wrote a book. It's the definitive guide to burning fat and building muscle. I'm a CrossFit. Has anyone heard of CrossFit in here? Okay, CrossFit. There's CrossFit Manitowoc. CrossFit's all over the planet. It's a boot camp style workout. So we have those like rolling tractor tires and pull-ups and push-ups and climbing ropes. Think of it like a big kid's playground. We do all sorts of really interesting, fun things. And it's meant for anyone of any age, any skill level. I am almost finished. I'll be finished in 2 weeks with my Rock Doc certification, which is that performance taping. Have you ever seen those athletes that have the big, funny-looking tape all over them? It's taping for performance, not so much for injury, although it does help with injury prevention as well. And then I was a trainer at Gold's Gym a long time, probably 10 years ago, and I worked with mixed martial artists, those cage fighter guys. They were the world champions, Matt Hughes, Tim Sylvia, Jens Polder, Jeremy Horn. Some of those guys were the world champions at the time, and really, really interesting injuries. But it gave me a unique background on health and fitness. All right. Okay. So why does health and fitness really matter? These are some of the things that I want to go through with you today, give you something fun, something basic. How to reach and set health goals, that's something that we promise. That thought between the donut and the Brussels sprouts. Donuts, Brussels sprouts, I hope that stays with you. Diet and exercise made simple. I really want to answer your questions more than anything, because there's so much information in health and fitness, and some of it is wrong at best. Some of it is inaccurate. It might misguide you or lead you down the wrong path. It might make you feel confused. If you've ever Googled weight loss, I don't think that that's probably even a reasonable thing to Google, because I don't even know how many billions of answers and things are going to come up for that. So my job and my goal, my hope today is that you walk out here with some very, very, very simple guidelines and your questions answered. And then what you can do next to take action to help not only yourself, but also employees. If you have employees that you're working on a work site wellness program for, ask me those questions, because I want to go through that, and I'll give you what I know about it. There are some people here who have sophisticated employee wellness programs, and then I know there are other people that are just trying to figure out what they can do for themselves to stick with their New Year's resolutions, to see some results, even though they've been in the gym. I know that can get frustrating. Basic premise, and I'm going to ask you a question in just a minute. So start thinking about what you want to get out of this program today if you have burning questions. But the basic premise of what I'm going to teach you today is that natural is better than artificial. Okay, that's one of my personal guidelines. If I can choose natural, I will, in all things that I consume and that I do in my lifetime. Variety is good, and that your body is self-healing within certain limits. Your body is designed to take care of itself. When you cut yourself, it heals. And it's because you're a living, breathing creature. Your body is self-healing. It needs no interference, but sometimes it needs certain things to be its best. It needs certain exercise. It needs certain nutritional requirements. Okay? Any questions about those? Those make sense? Natural is better. Variety is good. And your body can heal itself within certain limits, but you have to give it the right materials. So here's my question. I'm going to write it down, so you guys are going to have to talk to me. Can you tell me what motivated you to attend today? Is there something that if you don't walk away with it today, you're going to go, oh, I wish I would have asked her that question, or I wish he would have told me that? How about we'll start at this table? Anything you'd like to get out of it today, or do you have any questions? If not, I can make them.
I didn't know how to motivate others.
Ah, yes, we're talking about that. Okay. Nice. Okay. How do I motivate others? That one just makes me chuckle always. So there are some good things you can do.
What is the best thing to do after exercise?
After post exercise, post. Okay. Good. Anybody else? You guys have a question, a thought? Or when you said yes, check the box, yes, I'm gonna go, I'll accept the invitation. Anything you'd like me to hit on today? Otherwise you can see what I've got. No? You good?
For my organization, it's really about educating people. How do we keep information in front of them?
Okay, okay,
How to keep a weight loss that's standing over a period of time.
okay. Good, nice. So they said educating, like educating employees. And, all right, maintaining weight loss over time. Nice. Good. I'll be able to read it later. You guys can remind me, what did I say? All right, how about you ladies?
I think reasonable expectations as your age changes and things like that.
Nice, okay. Like what can I expect? Like what's really possible? Okay. Okay, nice.
Okay, mainly just to check it out and to support the concept of a wellness council because it's so needed and
Nice.
as individuals and as a country, obviously we can't continue on what we're doing now. So
Exactly.
just congratulations for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm so excited. When I heard the chambers putting together a wellness council, I'm curious to see how it goes. And I'm really excited because there are so many people in this community that are health-minded. We don't see them always. We don't hear from them. So we assume that everyone, is not, that everyone has the same habits. And not just in this county, but in general, a lot of the habits are overeating and not enough exercise and things like that. And it's not true. So Wellness Council is nice because I think it'll bring the education as well as that awareness that we are actually a community of healthy people, which is cool. Yes. Anyone else? Ladies? Burning questions? I'm going to put you on the spot. I just want to make sure that I hit on what you need to hit on. Anyone else?
What kinds of activities could we do in the office to help people?
Healthy wellness in the office, okay? Nice. At work. Okay. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
If you've lost a substantial amount of weight, then you've kind of been on a, I've lost like a little bit, but it wasn't what it was, and so how can I kick it back in?
Okay. Kind of kickstart that and get back. Okay. Anyone else?
Kickstart.
Good.
Your thoughts on a sitting office rather than a standing office? I have a standing office. I had to turn it into one because my hips wouldn't let me sit
Okay.
all day. So I'm just, I've been hearing more lately about standing versus sitting for long periods of time. And your thoughts on that?
You stand at a computer?
Yes.
Or
I stand and do a lot of things. I stand and do everything.
okay. Phone, computer.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you're like. I had one woman who worked in a factory. She had 8 to 10 hour shifts, and she looked at small parts, automobile parts, under a strobe light for 8. I don't even know how that job can be legal. First of all, I'm like, really? They can have you do that? And they didn't switch. This was a long time ago, before companies realized that we needed to rotate positions and talk about formatting. So she drove 45 minutes to come and see me one way. Because I had a special chiropractic technique, but that was her standing job. So I just thought just in case it was an office job or something different.
And it was by choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because of your hips.
I teach and I work in the office and I do a little bit of both. So I'm so used to standing all the time that sitting actually caused lots of issues.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
I think it would probably be like a meal schedule, like when you should you eat 3 times a day and snack 4 times, and
Okay.
or how do you break that up? And
I love that.
like busy days.
Right. Meal schedule / busy. Yeah. Okay. All right. Got room for one more. You guys are kind of quiet over there.
Come on.
You guys are gonna say something. My turn. Anything? You guys want to know about high intensity fitness probably? 15-minute workouts.
Chiseled abs.
Right, chiseled abs. Karen. I know. I love it.
I would say how to motivate self-motivation in a complicated world that we live in.
Okay.
Busy schedules.
Okay. Self-motivation. I may have, I won't write them down necessarily, but I may have questions for people about at least having you think about what it is that when you get to that moment, that donut versus Brussels sprouts moment, like you know the thoughts that go on in your head. If you could put a microphone into your mind at that moment, when you walk past that donut case, alright, I'll tell you, this is what mine does, and I'll be timely. I walk past the donut case, and I eat well, I work out. Nonetheless, I walk past the donut case, and you can't help but go like you kind of do at least a little bit of a double take. They have some really beautiful pastries out there, and even locally. And so you start thinking, okay, you know what, I ate a pretty good breakfast. I'm probably going to work out today. Oh, I did get those new running shoes for Christmas. I'm probably going to start using those pretty soon anyway. I could work out for like an extra 10 minutes. And your brain is a master at boom, 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 boom. It's in the big picture, really, is this donut going to make that big of a difference? Let's be honest. It's just a little tiny donut, right? Yes, ma'am.
But don't you think too that donut's cheaper than those vegetables and fresh fruits?
And that actually, when I was thinking through this, that was one of the points. I thought, you know, the fruit and vegetables almost spend $5, right?
For that one little bundle of grapes.
Exactly. You're like, yes. Well, I will show you. Let me see. That's a really good point. See that on your next. There are so many statistics. I typed in the cost of healthcare, like poor health, cost of poor health. There is so much data out there. We're data inundated, which is great. But the average medical charges for employees with no days per week of physical activity was 4.7% higher than for someone who just had 1 day of physical activity. 1 day of physical activity. And you can go into the study and read the details of their physical activity, but they didn't put them on a treadmill for 3 hours or something silly like that. It was just activity. BMI, is anyone, you know about BMI? Have you heard of BMI? It's body mass index. It's not used as much anymore because it was a pretty general way to monitor somebody's health. For example, if you had a big muscly guy who had a broad chest and a thick neck, he would probably be obese if you followed that scale because they take some body measurements and come up with a number. But it was a good basic guideline. For someone who has a 1 unit increase in BMI, the increased medical and drug costs per year were $119. So if you gain a few pounds, you can see a change in your BMI. The point is that it's expensive to be unhealthy, and when you apply that to donuts versus veggie tray, which again, if you go to Quick Trip, you're probably going to pay $3 maybe for one of those little teeny tiny veggie things, or for the grapes, what are those, about $1.50, $2, and the donuts, what, 35 cents? 3 for $1? If you can get 6 of those Quick Trip donuts, or what do they call it, I forget, the glazy ones in the box. In any case, medical costs for smokers are 18.1 times higher than for non-smokers, just for smoking, and a lot of companies have really gone to pretty strict smoking/non-smoking policies. Some have flat out rolled it out. There's a research study online through WellCoa, which is the Wellness Council of America. There's a company that they profiled there that actually would not hire people who smoke. There was no state law that they couldn't. It wasn't considered discrimination. They just said, look, it's not part of our culture. And so it wasn't included. But interesting, almost a 20% increase. So 20 cents on every dollar increased cost from someone who smokes and someone who doesn't smoke as far as from a business standpoint, which immediately translates to the individual. But I know what you're saying. There are actually ways to eat healthy and eat veggies and eat healthy meat. And we'll get into that as well. So why does health really matter? This is a personal question or personal answer, and you don't have to answer it to me, but I will tell you that you can know that that donut's not good for you and still choose it. But there's this thing called the compound effect. And for every donut, every can of soda, every little something throughout the course of the day, the weeks, the months, as you know, it adds up. Does anyone know how many calories are in a pound? So for those of you, anybody? Yes, 3,500. And I've got the numbers in here. Does anybody know how many calories are in a can of Coca-Cola? About 300 maybe. The numbers are coming up, but I think it's about 240 calories. So it would be around 10, 12, 15 sodas, something like that in the course of a week. And I know people who will drink 2 or 3 or 4 or 6 of those in a day. So, and that's just the caloric intake, not counting with the sugar, the effect of sugar and the phosphates and other things have in your system. But the point is that it does all add up and it does matter. So imagine you cut out that 1 soda a day. How many days does it take you to lose a pound? Just by doing that one thing, you're going to lose it within a week and you did is that one simple thing, just cut out that one soda, sugary beverage in the course of the day. So health matters because it's expensive, it costs your company money, it costs you money, because someday, depending on how your company is set up, if you are with a company that has a health program, for example, my husband's a police officer, and when they retire, they are responsible for their own health insurance. Most of the officers spend most of their retirement money paying their monthly health insurance payment. On the average, I've heard numbers between $1,000 and $1,400 a month they pay, because now they've got to pick up the slack for their whole health history. And there is this big computer out there, and it may be changing and there may be more, but there was this computer system called Qantas. It was a computer program, and all the numbers would be entered of what you spend. And there may be more of them now. Basically, it tracks your utilization of health insurance. So if you go to the dentist or you go for a checkup, it's all tracked. And that's how they'll calculate your insurance going forward, depending on the national program. We'll see what happens with that. Why does health matter to you personally? This is how you feel. Tired, sore joints, sore muscles, irritable, moody, cravings, headaches, abdominal pain, low libido, depression, lack of interest in general in life, maybe some anxiety or stress, shortness of breath, difficulty walking upstairs, racing heart rate. None of those really sound very fun to me, I'll be honest with you. So, and there may be some that you have that you haven't even thought of, but if you really think about it, I think that you might come to the realization that it may be true for you in some situations. In the last 18 months, I lost about 35 pounds. I got off track on health and fitness for a while and finally got back on the bandwagon. And I can tell you, one of the biggest things that I noticed that was different, and this may sound goofy to you, but when we would go to a restaurant, we would sit in a booth, and I had to sit on the inside. Well, first, I never wanted to sit on the inside. I didn't really think about it. I just knew I didn't want to sit on the inside, so I wanted to get up when I wanted to, or whatever my reasoning was. And since I have been moving more, exercising more, lost weight, I sat down, I scooted to the inside of the booth, and the next thing I know, I'm like, wow, I'm here. Like, before I'd scoot to get on the booth. And that sounds like so weird, but it's the smallest thing ever, but it was easier for me to do. It was comfortable for me to do versus feeling like, oh man, now I've got to like slide in there. And it's not because I didn't fit this way, I just was achy and sore, and it just didn't feel good. So as small as that may be, there may be things in your life that you realize that that you're not enjoying as much as you could. And that's something you have to come to terms with. There are also health conditions such as heart disease, diabetes, pre-diabetic. A lot of people have insulin resistance, very common, treatable if you decide to do something about it and take action. And fairly simply treatable depending on how far along you are. Cancer, arthritis, early onset. I've seen people in their 20s that have arthritis starting. A lot of it is dietary, and a lot of it is exercise. Gluten sensitivities, anybody do gluten-free or gluten anything for the most part? That's a whole other topic, but gluten sensitivity is fairly prevalent, although the testing is still kind of 50-50 as far as accuracy. Celiac disease, a more serious form of that. Degenerative disc and joint disease, loss of cartilage, chronic fatigue, sciatica, migraines, restless leg, easily bruising easily, really bump your arm and you get a big bruise from it. Again, there's nutritional things that you can do that really quickly can make a change in that depending on your overall condition. So poor health is expensive, not just because it costs you more money, but because it stinks. It's no fun to feel like this and to go through it. And the beauty, though, the good thing is that you don't have to feel this way. This is a woman, a CrossFit athlete, and the reason I put that picture on there is which would you rather feel like? And forget about how you look. Sure, we'd all like to look, cute and wear swimsuits. I get it. What would you rather feel like? And who do you think feels better? Period. Has a high energy, positive outlook, highly functioning. You can walk upstairs, you can slide into the inside booth, and freedom to participate in life in general. Someone calls you and says, you want to go water skiing? First of all, don't invite me because I'm a horrible water skier. I drink so much water, it's disastrous. However, I can do it. I know that the chances of me injuring myself or physically being cardiovascular, couldn't breathe, that wouldn't happen. It'd just be a matter of me not being able to do it at all. I've never been good at it. So what is health? Health is, the old definition of health was, it wasn't just I feel good so I must be fine. It was not just the absence of disease, but the presence of social, physical, and mental well-being, which is good. It's very good. It's from 1942 from the World Health Organization. There's another definition of health out there now, which is increased work capacity across broad time and modal domains. I said it without looking. Anyone want to guess what that even means? Right, exactly. I'm going to need you all to recite this in a minute. Okay. Basically, what it means is how much effort can you exert over time over different tasks. So if I had to take this chair and go set it up on top of the table over there, how easily could I do it? How fast could I get it there? And how heavy is this chair? Where I can put it? It's functional fitness is my point. So the goal is you can walk upstairs without sucking them in. You can walk on a treadmill. You can go for a walk outside. You can play sports with your kids or your family. Just enjoy it. Keep it simple. And you can do it efficiently in a way that's healthy for you, that you enjoy it, and have fun. So that's a new definition, increased work capacity over time and distance. The reason that's important, the idea is to be prepared for anything that life throws at you. There's a story of a couple that told me once they were at a baseball game with their kids, and all of a sudden it started pouring down rain. And the dad grabs one, 8-year-old throws him over the shoulder, the mom grabs the 6-year-old, throws her over the shoulder, and they take off for the car. It's just lightning, thunder, boom, just starts pouring rain. They run to the car, got to get the kids in the car, and they said, you know what, if we hadn't decided to take our health into our own hands and be more fit, we couldn't have done it. We would have been like dragging the kids along on the ground and trying to get them in there. And so functionally, did they know? Did someone say to them, just so you know, you're going to need to prepare and train so you can carry these children across that field tomorrow? Obviously not. Life happens, right? So the more healthy and fit you can be, there's a good benefit in that for you. And it's the Hopper model. The Hopper model is, let's say on every ball in that little spinner, it's not a bingo ball, it actually has a task on there. You don't know what life's going to throw at you. And so the healthier and more fit you could be, the better you are prepared, not just to enjoy your life, but to be safe as well and to be healthy. 3 basic functional movements. If you could only do these 3 things into your 100s, you'd be good to go. This is the definition of fitness. 3 things. You should be able to pick something up off of the floor. I'm keeping it simple, but I mean it. This is, if you could only do these 3 things, I would be completely satisfied with your health and fitness. If you could pick something up off of the floor safely and appropriately, put something up overhead, and be able to sit down and get up from seated. Now, I don't know, has anyone ever heard that kind of a recommendation? I know we talk about blood pressure and cholesterol and heart rate, and those are all important. Have you heard it?
Is that, my husband had a functional capacity evaluation.
Okay. Okay.
So that's kind of what we had to
Do some right.
I was just thinking, kind of made that connection.
Absolutely. Yeah, they do functional capacity evaluations or examinations depending on to rate for disability or for injuries. And when they go through this, they look at activities of daily living, the things that you do in your life that matter to you, not just, you wake up in the morning and think, you need to make sure, unless the doctor told you to, your insurance company told you to, you don't necessarily think, I'm going to check my resting heart rate and make sure that, my respiration, my breaths per minute are 16. And no, you have to get up, you have to get out of bed. Most of us go to the bathroom. You have to sit down, you have to stand up, you put your socks on. You might pick something up off the floor, maybe you reach up into the cupboard to get a plate or a bowl. It's functional. Now, there are good ways to do these and bad ways to do these, or ways that aren't as good. But these are basic functional movements, and they're a very good way to measure health and fitness. So picking something up off of the floor, and we teach these at my clinic and at CrossFit. I coach at CrossFit as well here locally. Picking something up off of the floor, and if I had to pick this chair up, and the chair, careful with it. But the point is, if I can't do this, if you can see me, it's a basic squat. I can't squat down, because we all know lift with our legs, right, not our backs. That's been taught, so we're not going to do this. I'm going to squat down to pick it up. If I can't do that without falling forward, without tipping over, without one of these things, then I'm not as fit and healthy as maybe I would like to be. Because when I turn 80, I hope that I'm doing mini triathlons. I'm not really interested in marathons. I hope that I'm out enjoying life, doing whatever I want. Maybe I'll take up kickboxing or something, right? Who knows? So if I can do this and squat down, then I can safely reach down and pick this chair up off the floor. And as I lift it up, I'm safe. My back is safe. I feel fit. My body's stable. And I'm not falling over. And I'm not afraid to do it. It's probably one of the best things. You have to put this chair up over your head. I can squat again. If I can't squat, I can't pick it up, put it over my head. I can take it, and I can lift it up. Maybe I've got to do this. I can do it because my joints are working together, and they're fully functional. I'm getting up from a seated position. I think that's almost too simple, but I will tell you that there are a lot of people that sit down in a chair and they sit down like this. Can you try to make it so you can see? Make sure the chair is behind me. All right, they sit down and they kind of like, flunk into the chair. And it's not because the chair is that low, and it may be because of habit, but most likely it's because it's just not comfortable for them to lower their body weight. Or they use the arms to themselves out of the chair. There are people who are in their 20s that do this, and there are people that are in their 80s that do it. And likewise, there are people in both groups that don't have to do that, because they just have that basic strength and flexibility. So when you're going through a fitness program, the reason I bring it up, think about that. Can you do this? Even if you can do the squat. Weight on the heels, squat down, stand up. It looks so simple, but I will tell you, I've had patients do it at the clinic. People that I think they're thin and seem relatively fit, can't do it. They can't do it. So it's amazing. So if you could do only one thing, I would pick the squat. But I'd like to do all three. That'd be great. Functional fitness. Okay. All right. How to set a goal and achieve it? You guys know about SMART goals. SMART, that's kind of catchy in business in general. So it's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, timely. Put timelines to your goals. Okay? Has anyone not heard of SMART goals or that kind of acronym, or at least it's okay. The idea is that you don't just say, I want to lose some weight or I want to get fit. You say, I want to lose 5 pounds. I'm going to measure it by standing on a scale. It's attainable. It's not like I'm trying to lose 20 pounds in a week or something like that. So it makes it realistic. It's doable for me for my current fitness level. And it's timely because I set that measurement to it, that time measurement to it. Well, what I would say, so yada yada, it's exciting, right? We look at those and say, good, I'm going to set a SMART goal. It's kind of like that broad time and modal domain. Your brain goes, okay, I got that. Now what do I do with it? I like SMARTY better. Individual and emotional. Individualized and emotional. And what I mean by that, it should be for you, nobody else. And it better be emotional or you're not going to care about it 48 to 72 hours later. And emotional usually means there's this concept called peeling the onion, where you say, why does that matter? So let's say you want to lose 10 pounds. Why does that matter? Why would you want to lose 10 pounds? Feel better,